Welcome to the Cohen and Cohen Cast. I'm your host, Yoel, with my very special guest, Marlon Hernandez.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Excited.
For those who don't know anything about the Cohen and Cohen Cast, we're starting a podcast for the agency. Kind of the plan behind it is to, feature some agents, particularly, people that have been here for a number of years, maybe a number of months, and just either have had success or, wanted to kind of put their input. And also kind of the vision for it is to have guests as well and, kind of just educate the listeners, whether they're current agents, whether they're, potential clients, potential employees, whatever it may be. Kind of the thing behind it is to educate, to feed the listeners.
Nice.
How does that sound, Marlon?
Sounds amazing. I like it.
Perfect. So I kind of have an outline for you specifically, Marlon.
Yeah.
Marlon, do you want to do like a quick little background of yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
how you started. I have some, history questions for you, kind of.
Okay.
How you started.
You want me to do like a history for the company? Like
For
how
you.
this?
No, for
or
you.
just me
You
as a
personally.
person,
Yeah.
Marlon. Okay. For sure. So currently 27 years old, born here in Los Angeles.
What part?
Fully Latino, born in Koreatown, I believe. I'm actually
wow.
not entirely sure. Born somewhere in LA, don't know the hospital. Probably Cedars-Sinai, I'm not sure. Grew up in Koreatown for probably 14 years. Then we moved to South LA, we got a home, and then we've been there since 2000 something.
Okay.
That's the fastest background I can give you.
How did you? Because just for the sake of kind of the listeners in the audience,
Yeah.
you have worked for an insurance company before. I mean,
Yes.
we don't have to name names.
We won't.
But we can kind of, put the pieces together by maybe you explaining what it was, what you
Yeah.
did, and how, kind of the distinction between that
one
company
and this one.
this company.
Yeah, for sure. So I graduated college, and then I took a hiatus, for probably like 6 months. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I got my degree in sociology. However, I was doing that mainly for my father, to be honest, mainly for my family, just doing college just because it's the thing.
The right thing to
it's
do.
the right thing to do. It's what, everyone else is doing. It's the way to success
That's
and
going
stuff.
to change, I think, a little bit.
I think it is changing. Yeah, I think it's changing, and I think it's going to continue to change for sure. So my cousin, actually, she introduced me to the first insurance company I worked for. We won't name the company. Great company. Just want to keep it nameless. Was there for probably 2 years. Life insurance, it was awesome. Honestly, it was amazing. Very hard, very difficult for several reasons. The biggest reason is you got to generate everything yourself. Mm-hmm. They train you well. Excellent training system. No complaints there. Really no complaints in everything. It's just, I wasn't profitable, which is why I left, which is why anyone will leave anything really if it's not profitable.
I love that you said great experience, but I wasn't profitable.
No, well, I mean, it's the truth.
It
was
ups and downs. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
like
it was a great experience because, generating your own leads, meaning finding your own clients, not anybody can do that. You've got to talk to people. You've got to, do things that you normally don't do. Mm-hmm. So when I say great experience, that's what I mean. Like I grew a lot for sure. I had to develop myself if I wanted to make it, which I did. It didn't work out for whatever reason. Only God knows. And, it is what it is. So started with that company. Swore I would never do insurance again. Actually, our supervisor right now, both of us, he chased me down for like a year and a half. He would pursue me.
He's like a college recruit.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing from this story, from what I heard before, he's like a college recruit, like wining and dining you. Like.
Yeah, intense, like for a year and a half. George really believed and believes in this opportunity so much, and he believed in me and still does, that he saw us working together.
He saw you, I think, thriving in this environment because,
he did.
If you can do, the other company,
right,
which it's kind of, that's harsh.
Yes.
Here it's kind of, it's pretty easy isn't the right word.
It's more
you have more of an
effective.
opportunity to succeed here.
Yeah, my word that I love to use when I talk to people about, it's more effective, I feel.
Strategic.
Yeah, it's more strategic, you know, and it leads to, going back to your question, what's the distinction? It's the structure. You know, in this company that we're currently at, American Income, we get leads. You know, we get people that are already looking for us. They're looking for our services. They're looking for our products. So we just got to make the call, you know, set the appointment, and, you know, do our thing. Over there, we had to generate the lead. So it's very time consuming. You know, so over there I was grinding 7 days a week, you know, but the checks weren't right. So here it's the opposite.
Yeah, I think, you know, I like to think of it as, I feel like it's like boot camp. Like you went through boot camp,
Yeah.
and now you're like, you know, I'm war ready.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
100%.
Compared to to what it was. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think kind of, you know, jumping into the next thing I wanted to ask you, what do you think surprised you in a positive way about this company, other than, I guess you kind of went over that, kind of the structure, but what is there anything that kind of sticks out that kind of surprised you as far as this company in particular?
Good question. I don't think I've thought about that, but as I'm thinking about it right now, I mean, number one is the money, you know, 100%. Like, I knew I was gonna make money. Well, I mean, you know, I think like everybody, when we start, we're not sure. You know, it's like, is this for me or not? Even though I had prior experience, just the toughness of the other opportunity made it really hard for me to try and enjoy this in the beginning.
Association, a negative.
Yeah, for sure. It was just, you know, just struggle. You know, like I was like, man, I don't want to struggle. That's my thing, you know. And I remember telling George, like, bro, if what you're saying is true, like I can do this, and we have leads, and I don't see why I wouldn't make it. So I knew I would.
It sounded like, speaking from, you know, someone that's an agent. And coming, someone that is fresh out of training, it sounds too good to be true, but it is too good to be true if you don't have the work ethic, if you don't have the discipline.
Right.
If you don't have that, then this is going to be hard.
Yes.
Because, you know, things aren't going to be handed to you. You can't slack off and still get paid.
Right, 100%.
You know? But like, as far as, okay, you have leads, you have this, you know, amazing training, you know, infrastructure, you have a team around you. Okay, like it's kind of like, okay, this is good. This seems pretty straightforward. Yeah. And it seems too good, but it's like, no, this is like,
it's real. I mean,
this is what you can make it.
This is what, I mean, we've done such a good job specifically here at Cohen and Cohen, where we've dissected everything, where we don't want to leave any room for error. I mean, there's so much money to be made. I mean, insurance is lucrative, and I mean, we're focused, we're serious about our business. We just want to make it happen. You know, we want to make our dreams happen, our visions happen, everything. And not only for us, but for everyone that joins us, you know. So we're looking for people that are looking for us, essentially, you know. So everything is strategic, everything is planned. Yeah.
It's a factory almost, like not a factory, but like you guys, I think, you know, specifically, you know, the Leone agency, I think has a pretty you know, strategic plan as far as how to develop agents and how to kind of keep that culture. And I like our culture within the agency.
Same.
And I think and that's just from talking to the people that are on the team, it sounds like that's not something that, you know, happened overnight. What do you think has changed from, say, when you first started, as far as curating agents, from right now? Just to kind of maybe help out other managers in the agency, or give people more
what do I think changed? Well, I mean, when I got here, we were in Lakewood. Personally, I know one thing that changed me, that really had an immense impact, was leadership training, Leadership 101, which is something that you'll be attending soon for sure as you enter management. You have to, and highly recommend it. I mean, it changed me. It rocked me.
Really?
Yes, okay. in such a good way, and I'll explain how. So prior to that, I mean, yes, I had vision. You know, I was thinking like, okay, I'll make this amount of money. Management was cool. You know, I've always thought management is cool, as far as, you know, taking a week off and you still make money, whatever, or you get sick. Leadership training, though, what it really did for me is it made my vision definitely increased. It was expanded, but it made me really like visualize it so well, so vividly, to where it was almost tangible for me, where I could see it. I met millionaires. I met like top people in the company, and they would describe how they did it. and I'm going like, yo, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the right track. We're just missing this. We're missing that. And if we add that,
Yeah.
we'll get there 100%.
Yeah.
Because the factory, it's designed to produce you to be big and you know, be successful and train a lot of people. That was a life changer, that training for me personally. And I know that I did have an impact on the culture, because when I came back, I was just ready. I was inspired. I was motivated, and I think, you know, the team felt that, and George,
Fed off that.
yeah, and I mean, not only that, but George himself, he's an amazing guy. He's like us. He's always learning by himself. He's an entrepreneur. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all looking to better, and it was just perfect. Like, his energy and my energy had matched, and everybody else on the team, and you know, we were moved from Lakewood to here, and then we just kind of, you know, decided to take over. We're just like, well, okay, we know how to make a sale. We know how to train. Let's just do it. Let's just focus. You know, focus is huge. You know, let's cut off all these things that don't really matter, that are not really going to be there a year from now. And let's build this. So that's what really caused the culture.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I can see that. I can see the focus. I can see the seriousness. And I think kind of for me, and for the sake of any of, you know, agents or people in management that are listening, you spoke about the leadership training and the pieces that were missing.
Yes.
For if you could be as specific as possible and what kind of those pieces
Oh,
were.
for sure. Okay. The biggest piece was recruiting. The biggest piece that I walked away from, and they'll teach you this there, is recruiting solves every problem. That's their saying. That's it.
That's interesting. That sounds like referrals too. But it's like, what's the, Miko was like, what's the number one? I think he was just like, what's the most important thing? Like, kind of, you know, almost being sarcastic, but not saying like, this is extremely important. Obviously other things are important, but he was saying referrals. And I was like, okay, like, I understand, you know, we get leads, but referrals are extremely important, of course. Yeah. But then you realize as you keep going, you're like, dang, he was right. Like, that's like oxygen, you know? So I think that's kind of another example of like things, it might not seem that obvious, saying, you know, recruiting solves every problem, but then once you start it,
and that makes sense, because you're not in management yet, however you're thinking about it. But watch, I'll feed this right now. So right now, referrals is everything, right, to the personal producer, to the regular agent. Recruiting still solves every problem, because right now it's only you collecting referrals.
That's true.
So if you add recruiting to that mix, if we have 5 Yoels and add another 5 Marlons, yeah, you're collecting referrals on your own, but imagine having a squad of 5 or 6 and they're all collecting referrals. Yeah. Now you've got a huge oxygen tank where everybody can breathe, not just a small one, you know? So recruit, that was the biggest thing. Like, I was like, okay, I'm making this much money. How do you make more? How do you get that freedom? We're here for freedom. We're here to accomplish those dreams and goals. I know for me, I want to travel. I want to, you know, see my father. I want to do all of these things. What do I need to do? I need to recruit more, because there's only so much I can do. There's only so much you can do. We're beasts, but we get tired. We get sick. You know, I have a baby. Like, all of these things are time consuming. But if I recruit and I have a team, and I have people, I got a team of 10, 20, 30. I mean, it's no longer just me. You know, and you can lay back if you want. You can push harder. That's all dependent on the person. The way I see it, it's just, you know, it's just smart. You know, I think it's effective. It's business.
You know, I think, you know, this is one of those very in-betweens where, you know, you have this agency, you kind of have people looking over you that are your managers, your supervisors, or whatever it may be. But it is, you know, you're an entrepreneur. There's these nuances that matter, that aren't, you know, obvious, like face value, that are extremely important. Recruiting is extremely important, and no one's going to hand you, you know, recruits, kind of, but not really. You got to go, you know, if you have your own agency within the agency, then you got to kind of figure it out and, you know, do it yourself. And that's kind of the beauty and the you know, the ugly part. Because if you don't want to do that, then you're going to pay the consequences. If you do want to do that, the sky's the limit. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, we have two routes here. You know, we have two ways of doing the business. You can do it alone or you can do it with people. Obviously, I'm biased towards the doing it with people and management because I can do it. However, there's people that can't, you know, that their life situation just doesn't allow it. You know, they've got to take care of mom at home. And I think that's what's beautiful, too, is that, you know what, management, it might not be for you right now or ever. Yeah. You can take the personal route where it's just you. Nothing wrong with that. We have a lot of successful.
A lot of money being a lot, even more than, you know.
More than some managers. Yeah. So it's whatever you want. You know, the opportunity's there. You work it how you want to. Yeah. Sky's the limit, like you said.
Facts, man. You talk about belief a lot.
Yeah.
That's something I definitely wanted to address.
Sure.
Was this always something that was extremely important to you? Because I think for me, just hearing you say it and kind of, you know, getting everyone else's perspective, especially when I was coming in early, you know, I kind of have a unique perspective. I think like being as outspoken as I am and being here so early, I think is so beneficial to other people because I'm like, I can articulate like the things that I'm going through to like people that are just starting as well. So I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me, even just the past, you know, month or two, was really believing in the mission of, you know, the child safety kits, the you know, protecting these young families.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that comes with time. You meet these families that, you know, you were the only reason they were going to get, you know, any sort of additional life insurance. And they've been waiting for someone to come to their house. They haven't been waiting actively, but, you know, they sit there and, you know, I sat down with a young family, like they just had a baby. And you could tell the mom, you know, wanted insurance, but the dad was like, oh, you know, I don't really, you know, think we need it. And then I was like, I looked at her face, and I said, do you agree with him? And, you know, she said no. And, you know, now we set her up with something, and, you know, she's going to, you know, they're going to be protected for the rest of their lives.
Awesome.
So I think the concept of belief for me was so strong, and it came with time. But I think I want you to speak on it because you do a really good job kind of articulating it and really setting it home, because for early on, for the people that are brand new, that's extremely important because it's going to be rough if you don't believe in what you're doing.
Yeah, man. That's deep, man. I think belief, you know, if we keep it just the business, it is everything. It's everything. And if someone new watching this catches it on early, like you're saying, you'll be a killer. You know, you'll be extremely good. You'll grow fast. You know, there's a Bible verse that talks about you are what you think. And that to me is everything. Like, you are what you think. The person that you are, it's because of your thoughts that goes on and that happen in here, you know? So if you want to change who you are, which a lot of people do, which we want to do, we want to keep getting better, we got to keep changing our thoughts. We got to keep changing our belief system. Yeah, I mean, you've definitely got to believe in what you do, right? If you don't, my best advice is get out of there. Honestly, because you know, especially
you're not doing them a service, you're not doing yourself a service.
Yeah, especially in sales, especially in business, you know, belief is everything. It transfers to the client. I mean, in your example right there, they bought it because you believed, you convinced, right? So do you want me to talk about like why we should believe or what?
Yeah, I think that'd be beneficial.
Okay.
Like, why? Okay. One, why life insurance is important.
Okay.
I mean, that I kind of want to address briefly, but why believing that it's important and a need is important for you to be successful in this industry. That's kind of what I mainly want to harp on, because that takes a little more kind of unraveling.
Got you. So yeah, I mean, life insurance is important, you know, because it's expensive, first of all. One, we all pass away. Two, you got to have something. You know, I mean, I come from the hood. I grew up in the hood, and we see it a lot. We see a lot of families doing car washes for funerals. We see GoFundMe accounts. We see X, Y, and Z. So to avoid that, you know, because it sucks, man. Every time I see someone asking for money, donations, it breaks my heart. I don't want my family to do that for me, so I'll get some life insurance, and that's its purpose, right? Now,
to pay for like final expenses.
expenses, et cetera, to leave money behind for the kids, family, home, et cetera. So now, why is belief important? It's important because, the family is you're everything there, right? Like when you go inside of a home, if you don't believe in the product, you won't be convicted. You won't be passionate. You'll speak from a place of You'll speak from a place of like, maybe you should have this. Oh, you don't think it's all right? You're right. It's important because if you don't, the way I see it, for example,
they're gonna feed off of your belief.
They're gonna feed off of my belief, and because I believe so strongly in it, the thing is that if I don't protect them, I'm leaving them, with that debt still. I'm leaving them with that problem. We're problem solvers. We're not there to solve every problem, but we can definitely solve your debt problem. We can solve your final expense problem. We can solve some financial problems, right? Yeah. That's our job. So I believe in it because I've seen it. I've donated. I've been there, So the people that I sit across from, it's important for me to believe because, one, it does transfer, and they're going to need to be convinced too. And so the question is, how good are you at convincing them, right? Because sales is a convincing game. How good are you at convincing someone to purchase your product, in this case, life insurance, if you don't have that belief there? Yeah. It won't be that strong. Yeah. You'll give up easily. You'll be moved by their objections because it's a game. It's a sales game. I'm there to convince you need it. You're probably there. The client is there to convince me that maybe I don't really need it. Yeah. But that's where, if your belief is strong, if it's genuine, if it's pure, I'm not talking about believing like, man, we got to make this money. Like, of course we want to make money, but we got to do the right thing. Yeah. So if it's there, if it's right.
And if they can't afford it, that's no good for you either.
Yeah. I mean,
in the short term and the long term.
Yeah. If they can't afford it, we say they don't qualify. We can help them with our no-cost benefit. But other than that, we can give them an opportunity to maybe work with us, but there's not much we can do there. Yeah. So I think belief, it just carries you. It gives you strength. It gives you passion. It gives you conviction. It gives you confidence. If you believe in the product, you'll be in there. You'll be calm. You'll be composed. You'll be focused.
You'll remove. I think a lot of it is. It also kind of removes yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Because people kind of, you can feel like it's such like they're looking at me, I hope I do well. I should be doing the right, I should be saying the right things at the right time. If you believe what you're doing and what you're providing is of value, then you're going to kind of remove yourself from
100%
from the sale, and it makes you calmer.
Yeah.
Because you're saying it's not about me, I need to help them.
Yeah, it's not exactly. You forget you're not a performer. You forget about your performance. You're not there to look nice. You're not there. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had a stain on my shirt or whatever, or maybe my hair is out of place. I don't care. I don't even think about that stuff. Yeah. I don't even think about my tone. I don't think about how I sit. I don't. These are things we're taught in sales, sure, but when your belief is there, because I mean, we're tired. Naturally. Yeah, we're so tired. We see so many people like. Sometimes I'm super tired, my eyes are low, but my belief is still there. Yeah. And that transfers. It's like, listen, you don't have anything. Do you want your kids to suffer? Do you want your kids to do a car wash? Do you want your mom? If you don't, this is why we're here. So, man, belief is so important because now that I think about it, it carries me. Yeah. I'm tired all day.
Especially when you're, say hypothetically you've made a good amount of money, say that week. You sit in an appointment and you know that they have a need for it. You're like, I don't even care about, the commission. I mean, I don't get it twisted. I don't mind it, but, it's almost like I just want to make sure you see what there is that we have to offer, and I make sure that we take care of you. Yeah. It kind of pushes you farther than, the superficial, I guess.
I think we get rewarded. Those that truly believe get rewarded. A lot more than those that don't, obviously, because we at that point we don't do it for us. We're not looking at us. We're really looking at them. We're looking at this business and this game, if you will, or this crisis, if you will, for what it is. Yeah. And we've got a solution, and that just pushes us. It causes us to get more referrals. People believe in us. I want you to go to talk to so and so. because of that belief. That belief you have, they're pretty much saying, yo, that belief you have, can you go transfer that belief to my sister? Because if she dies, I'm going to have to pay. I don't want to pay. Please go convince her.
Yeah.
Go convince her of a good thing.
Yeah.
Remember, we're there to do the good thing. And yeah, it just, the universe, I like to say God has a way of rewarding you. You know, when you believe, it's like, well, people need it. People need our product. And hey, you really believe in it. You're willing to go far for it. You're willing to work even if your paycheck looks like this or that. Go see these people.
Yeah.
There's just no coincidence. It's just they go together.
And sometimes, like, I've noticed, say I am tired, say I have, I made my, sale or two that day or that, couple days, and, I'm just like, it kind of is the next thing of, what if I'm the reason that they needed that and then they like, I really go there. I go there when I need to.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's tough.
You play those games with yourselves and, anything to kind of push you and motivate you, I think is extremely important, because I think, you probably could do this job if you didn't have that belief, but it's like harder than it needs to be.
It's
especially
tougher.
If you're struggling.
Gonna take you
definitely
longer.
Need it. But yeah, no, it's definitely extremely important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of wanted to go a little more, general, a little more macro of a question.
I need some macros right now. Go ahead.
You hungry?
Pretty hungry.
This is gonna be another 2 hours. So we kind of had this conversation in book club, but I wanted you to kind of extrapolate it. Hopefully I said that right.
What are you about to mention right now?
Do you think confidence is born or developed?
Born or developed?
Yeah.
Ooh,
it's a
good
very,
question.
Very macro question.
Jeez, God.
You can take that any way you want it, my guy.
Is it born? Okay, so I will say it's both. I think we are born with a certain level of confidence. Here's my belief system. I believe we're all children of God. You've got to have confidence, man. If Pops is God, like, you got to walk around like, yo, that's Pops. Like, I've got some confidence. So I think it's both. I think we're born with that, but I think you do develop. You should continue to develop, and it will. I think you're born with a confidence of, like, I'm a beautiful person, inside and out.
Yeah.
I matter.
And you think the environment kind of alters that as we get older?
Absolutely, it can. 100%, it definitely can do that. However, confidence, like in business, in this industry, you got to develop that. I don't think no one's born with a confidence to sell insurance.
Oh, man.
Yeah, or be a business owner. I think that's something.
I thought I was confident, and then I came here. I mean, there's been things.
Well,
that I've
you
done.
are. You're probably. It's what I'm saying. Like, you're a confident person, but however, within the industry, I think we all get slapped at first because we don't have experience. So it's
it's humbling.
Yeah. So then we develop that.
It's humbling in a good way.
Absolutely.
But I would agree. I think we are, born with a certain level, and then our parents, if we unfortunately have bad parents, or we have people tease us, whatever it may be, kind of negatively influence that. I think how it can translate here is you gotta really have internal confidence and internal positive, like, validation. You can't be influenced by external, like, influences. Like, say you're on the phone, setting up an appointment, and they say, I don't want to talk to you, or something like that. Just something confrontational. You can't let that affect you, or else you're finished. So you gotta have that, like, confidence, that even keel.
Yeah, it cuts you, and your confidence, belief is down, and you're sad, discouraged. Huh?
But then you get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, well, then you learn business, really, and business is a numbers game. You're not going to sell to everybody. Talk about Starbucks, talk about McDonald's. All businesses across the board don't sell to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's just, like, the law. Yeah. And if you understand that, you won't take it personal. You'll be like, oh, well, that's just not, he or she's not meant to be my client. That's okay.
Like, they have their own life. Like,
they have their own life. You know what?
Their own decisions.
Yeah, it's what we have. We have free will, and they do too. And I think we expect and we want everybody to buy our stuff, of course, but it just doesn't work like that. So
I feel you.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay, I think we
good.
hit on a lot of spots. I think that was really short and condensed. I like these because like people in sales, they can kind of get to the point
Oh,
very quickly
100%.
and very effectively.
Pretty good at that.
So, something that might be an hour can, thank God, only needs to be like maybe 30 minutes. Which is
Hell
nice.
yeah.
So yeah, man, thank you for
No
being on
problem.
the
Thank you.
podcast.
Appreciate it.
I don't know why I'm like acting like I'm saying goodbye to you, even though I'm gonna.
I'll see you
probably get
next
lunch
year,
with
bro.
you right now, but thank you
It's
guys
nice
for
knowing you.
listening. We're probably gonna pump these out, weekly.
Let's do it.
So please tune
Pump.
in, share. We're gonna have people from the agency, people not within the agency, talking about leadership, sales, management, just empowerment, influence, just things to kind of help us and help the world. So thank
Let's
you
do it.
guys.